Well, friends, today would have been Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS 34th Annual Easter Bonnet Competition, an event that is the center of my year and the joy of my life. I make a bonnet for them many, many years. I've written the opening number. If you've followed me at all, you've seen me doing Broadway Cares Easter bonnet stuff forever. Well, this year, they gave me the honor of creating a bonnet here in my apartment to represent us, to represent the event, to help with the fundraising efforts. 7 videos were, BZ, do you have to play with that now? 7 videos were created. The 7th one aired today. And the bonnet is completed. So if you'd like to take the whole journey, I edited all those videos together that they've posted on their social media, and that's what follows. And then it ends with the bonnet. That's it. Take a look. And if you can, send somebody to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. They're doing globally wonderful things, and they're very worth it. So thanks. Well, hey, everybody. It's Billy. Well, we aren't in our theaters with our red buckets raising funds for Broadway Cares right now, but that doesn't mean that our community isn't raising funds. We're just doing it remotely. Go team. And we won't be able to gather in our usual way for our annual Easter bonnet competition this spring, but that doesn't mean that I can't make a bonnet anyway to share for us all. So, with what I can reuse from previous bonnets, that's a shout out to the Broadway Green Alliance, and what I've got here in my socially distant apartment, and what I can scrounge online, I'm going to do just that. And I'm going to follow Broadway Cares' example. I'm going to make some magic. So I'll share the adventure with you. Wish me luck and stay tuned, and let's see what I can come up with. Here we go. Okay. Well, hey everybody, it's Billy. I'm getting ready to build an Easter bonnet to represent all of us while we can't be in our theaters doing multiple bonnets this year. The base of it is going to look like one of our fabled red buckets. Now, since I can't get into any of our theaters to steal a red bucket, I'm going to have to fabricate one. So I'm going to start with, this is the base of the bonnet I built last year for Be More Chill. I'm going to pick that gewgaw off, and there's some sparkly things on there. Those were repurposed from 2 years ago, the Escape to Margaritaville big margarita glass that I made. I'll pick that stuff off, and I'm going to cover it in this red stretchy, plasticky vinyl stuff that I happen to have in the house. The other thing, it's going to have some of our red ribbons involved. So I was able to find this horsehair. This is millinery kind of stuff. Online, I was able to get the horsehair. I'm going to cover that in this glitter wrapping paper. Now, while I'm doing all of that, why don't you all go to BroadwayCares.org/help2020 and donate to this COVID relief fund that they're doing, that's being administered by the Actors Fund. I'll do this fun thing, you do that worthwhile, wonderful thing, and together we're going to have a wonderful bonnet time, okay? Now go away, I got to work. Bye. Good people, I am trying to get this horsehair to stay inside of this wrapping paper so I can make ribbons to go on our bonnet, and it is not going well, and it is not participating. But that is okay. I am undaunted, because this is what I'm going to do. I am going to channel the spirit of the late, great Howard Crabtree. Oh, Howard. He was a dresser on the original La Caja Fall who created the very first bonnet to win Best Bonnet Design in 1987. He made a Zaza that opened up and had 3 cagelles inside, about 8 inches tall. Well, in 2011, the second revival of La Cage asked me if I could help them to recreate that design for their bonnet entry. Howard probably spent months on that thing. I had 10 days. So I called up my friend Amy McCullough, who is a creative genius herself, and we set to work. She got to work on the figurines while I got to work on the entire structure of the bonnet. Then we called in our friend Patrick Hoffman, who made us a flawless Zaza wig to put on our mannequin. And 10 days later, we put it on Harvey Fierstein's head, and it was in the competition. You can watch that video below of that presentation. It won first place for that entry. It was amazing. Now, here's what you have to know. If you look at the Zaza, she's holding a little Easter egg in her hand. Well, I printed out that picture of Howard down in the basement of the palace, stitching away, and I put it inside of our Easter egg so Howard could be with us on stage that day as well. And I have not done a bonnet ever since where I haven't channeled Howard and tried to hold up that bar as high as he's raised it, and I'll never make it, but God bless him, Howard. Now, here are some pictures of his bonnet versus our bonnet. Tell me how we did. And guys, please do your best if you can to help us with the fundraising efforts here at BroadwayCares.org/help2020. Come on, I got work to do. Leave me, and pray for me. Hello friends, so the Easter bonnet journey continues. I have made a skeleton for what will be the base of the bonnet, which will be one of our red buckets. I'm going to fill that out tonight. Now suspended above the red bucket is going to be the earth. I found a used globe online and I had it sent to me and the globe arrived. This is what I got. And this is how it arrived in the mail. Can anyone say metaphor for our actual planet right now? But fear not, I am undaunted. I am going to, get ready for another metaphor, just like Broadway Cares, I am going to mend this world, and I'm going to cover it in glittery fabulousness, and it is going to be whole and healed and brilliant. I like a bonnet that can do tricks and do things and move around. So I found this little rotating turntable, which is going to go inside of here, and the globe will hopefully revolve. To help prop it up, I found this little dollar store St. Patrick's Day mug that had hashtag beer me on it until I got rid of that. I'm gonna hack off the little handle and kind of put that in there so I can hopefully suspend our globe and get it to revolve around over our red bucket. Let's see. I like a bonnet that moves. A few years back, I did the opening number bonnet when we did Broadway in Las Vegas, and I did a big roulette wheel that had all the logos from shows around the perimeter, and it revolved. I like that bonnet a lot. It's a lot easier to get trick bonnets to do tricks when you're in a theater full of electricians. Come on, Local 1. But I am undaunted. I'm going to heal the world. I'm going to make a red bucket. I'm going to see if I can get it to move around, and we're going to keep this thing on target. So let's go. In the meanwhile, why don't you check out everything else going on at Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. Thanks for following the journey. We have a red bucket. What do you think? Cutting out, I've traced and I'm cutting out little continents, which I'm going to put onto glittery paper and put onto our globe, which I have mended. While I'm cutting and contemplating, I realized this is the 17th Easter bonnet that I've built for Broadway Cares Easter bonnet competition, between shows I've worked on and helping shows that didn't have a builder. So I was also thinking which have been my favorites, and I have to say the two favorites have been the two that won Best Bonnet Design, naturally. The first one was for Beauty and the Beast in 2006. We built Disney's Times Square theme park. And then flash forward 10 years at American in Paris, I wrote a public service announcement to Book of Mormon's Turn It Off, to tell people to turn their cell phones off while in the theater. I wrote it for Max von Essen and Brandon Uranowitz and built that bonnet. That was a huge cell phone that had a selfie of Max and Brandon on the front as if it was taken on stage during the number, that then revolved and had a shattered cell phone. There's a link below to that American in Paris number and that fabulous bonnet. If you want to take a look, please do. So the journey continues, and I'm going to get back to work here. Well, folks, what goes on that red bucket that I made? The earth, of course, which might have had a lot of heat set rhinestones attached to it. My plan was to use the same glitter paper on the oceans, but I didn't have enough. So I went back into my craft closet, which it's like Narnia in there. You open that door, you're in a universe of craft supplies from I don't even know when. Just happened to have pearlescent ocean blue paint in there, so naturally. Put a little base on it so I can attach it then inside of this bucket. And next comes the red ribbons. Now, if you recall, I was trying to put wrapping paper around horsehair. It didn't go well. Back to my old friend foam core. Basically styrofoam with two sheets of poster paper around the outside of it. And if you peel the paper off the outside, sometimes you have to soak it in a bathtub to do that, it gets very flexible. So look, red ribbons with foam core. Now I realized we've seen a lot of bonnets over the years with red buckets on them, and I've chosen not to do that. I try to bring you something new and different whenever I do a bonnet. We've also seen a lot of globes. So this is the first I've done that, but I will say I've used red ribbons before. Back in 2013, I did the National Tours number and did a little model for myself so I could figure out what I was going to do, and I wanted to do red ribbons emanating from Broadway Cares in New York, spanning the entire United States. So that's how that one came out. And then 2 years ago in 2018, I did the opening number, wrote it, staged it with the fabulous James Kinney, and I did the hat for that as well, and I did a big red ribbon on that, trying to kind of show a flow of we sign posters and things and it funnels out into money that we send around the globe. So me and the ribbons, that's a thing. So I'm gonna get back to getting these ribbons on this thing and finish up, because you guys, it's bonnet time. Here we go, final push. Folks, it's bonnet day. Pretend we're at the Minskoff. Pretend 10 more all together. And here she comes. I gave you a backdrop so it looks really official. There she is, folks. One bonnet to represent all of us this year. Our red bucket representing the COVID relief fund that we're doing right now with the Actors Fund. The earth revolving above it. The earth is revolving backwards. I know there's a metaphor in that. I will let you figure that one out for yourselves. And our ribbon, embracing the earth, wrapping around the earth, protecting the earth, healing the earth, the way that Broadway Cares does. Boy, the step by step by step of putting this one together was very interesting and fun. I loved every second of it. So I want to thank Broadway Cares for letting me do a bonnet for us all this year. It wouldn't be April if I didn't have hot glue gun burns all over my fingertips and a messy apartment. I would have it no other way. So until next year when we can all be together and do this event, and maybe we'll put her on somebody's head next year so we can all take a look at her out on the stage. I want to see how she looks from a distance outside of this apartment. In the meanwhile, do check out what Broadway Cares is up to keep us all going during this very challenging time. Donate to the fund if you can. And again, thanks for taking the journey with me and letting me take the journey. Happy Easter bonnet, everybody.